Hey guys, welcome back. Wanted to go over a Defiler today. I know a lot of other YouTubers have probably already talked about this model already, but I kind of want to give my opinions. It's my channel, my opinions, right? So we have the Defiler coming out really soon with the new book, Eye of Terror. I believe that's the last campaign book for 10th edition as we head into 11th, and there's already been a whole lot of drops and stuff like that I will try to cover, see if I can. I am moving into a new house currently. I don't know if you hear the echo of an empty room, but more to come on that. So anyway, into the stat line, we have movement 12, and that is up from 8, I believe, if I remember it correctly, which is huge. It's just great. And this also coincides with a new rule, Scuttling Walker. They completely rechanged this to now each time this unit makes a normal, advance, or fallback move, it can move through models, excluding Titanic ones, and terrain features. That is huge. When doing so, it can move within engagement range of enemy models, but cannot end that move within engagement range of them. And any desperate escape test is automatically passed. Incredible new rule, and something we definitely wanted to see going forward, and I hope this translates to other units with that scuttling rule, like soul grinders or any future new things coming out. Sad to say the brass scorpion will not benefit from these probably. Such an amazing model. Sad that is put into Legends. But yeah, so getting this guy around the table should not be a problem at all. Being able to move through terrain as if it's not there. You don't have that 4-inch height requirement anymore like Titanic still has. You can just go. You go through enemies, everything like you're a ghost. Obviously you're scuttling across them, which is awesome to see that they have. It's more of a narrative theme rule that has great implications in the competitive scene. So I'm happy to see that. It looks like a good move into the right way. It comes in at toughness 11, which is great. It's a great break point. You're going to have that dedicated anti-tank like las cannons and stuff like that to even really start making good progress against this thing. It comes with a 3-up armor save and a 5-up invulnerable save, which, you love them, you hate them. Invulnerable saves, people roll 5s all the time, and big things live. Going in with that, it has 18 wounds. That is big. Leadership 6 and an OC of 5. So no little scout squad is going to take an objective from this guy. He's pretty big. And speaking of big, his base size. He is a 160 mil base, I believe. And I believe a greater unclean one is close to like a 120, I believe. I know it's over 100, but man, this guy probably has the biggest pie plate now. Yeah, that is humongous. He comes with, let's see, Hades battle cannon, 2 excruciator cannons, a heavy missile launcher, a heavy bell flamer, and shearing claws. We'll cover the melee first because that's the littlest amount of data that we have. He has a strike and a sweep profile on the shearing claws, and the electro scourge is extra attacks, hits on 2s, but we'll get into that. The strike profile is 5 attacks, hitting on 3s, strength 16, -3, d6 plus 1 damage. That's pretty good. That's going to be your anti-tank stuff. The claws with the sweep are 10 attacks, hitting on 3s, strength 6, -2, only 1 damage. It's not the end of the world with 1 damage, but it's not great either. You're mostly going to be using that strength 16 one, the strike, just to make sure you penetrate anything that you come across with the AP3. You'll be killing most elite infantry with that guy and probably clearing out most of them. I don't see him taking out, a 10-man Terminator squad on his own in melee. That's not going to happen. Even with the Electro Scourge, That's coming in with extra attacks as sustained hits 2, 5 attacks, hitting on 3s, strength 12, -2, flat 2. Yeah, it's just a regular Space Marine killer, but if this guy's getting tied up with just regular Space Marines, his normal weapons are going to do that, and I think he's going to be a much better shooting platform with some melee capabilities, as we'll get into here. The Hades battle cannon is blast, 48-inch range, d6 plus 3 attacks, ballistic skill 3, strength 10, -1, damage 3. Love the battle cannons. They put out so many shots, huge range, and with the way that the terrain and stuff like that and how cover works now is not great because, with the blast keyword and being in cover and stuff like that, you can really just negate anything. AP1 is basically just saying, hey, you get +1 to your armor save as it stands. But going forward, how it just affects the hit rolls, we have yet to see if it adds anything to the person's armor save, so who knows if it does change. But I hope that it does, because this could be a great weapon. Right now, the competitive build is the Ectoplasma Destructor. It also has blast, 36-inch range, d6 attacks, ballistic skill 3, strength 12, -3, flat 3. That stat line is great. Hate that it's only d6. If you hit a squad of 5 or more, it'll be d6 plus 1, and that scales. But just the fact that it's a flat d6 attacks means you can always roll a 1, and that really sucks. Then you have excruciator cannons, 6 attacks each, flat, hitting on 3s, strength 6, -1, 2 damage. Again, we're back at -1 AP, which is the huge negative here, not in a good way. So yeah, hopefully that changes. You have the option of taking 2 magma cutters, which are melta 2, 12-inch range, 2 attacks each, hitting on 3s, strength 9, -4 with d6 damage. If you wanted to make a brawler, you could. I could see taking the excruciator cannons off and changing them with the magma cutters to have more of a range. I wish that they were pistol, because then you would absolutely put that in there for a melee option. But as it stands, they have their niche. Then you have the heavy bell flamer, standard flamer, ignores cover, torrent, 12-inch range, d6 plus 3, auto hitting, strength 7, -2, flat 2, also good. If you're going to go that mid-range brawler kind of thing with some weapons, longer range weapons, but then get in melee, that's a good one to have. And you have the Hades Last Cannons. Now, they're 48-inch range, 2 attacks each, hitting on 3s, strength 12, -3, d6 plus 1, your standard Chaos Last Cannons, which are great when you compare them with the Destructor, the Ectoplasma Destructor, and some Excruciator Cannons in there too. You can really just pump out a lot of long-range firepower from this guy, and you're not going to be able to hide from him. You have the Heavy Reaper Autocannon, devastating wounds, sustain hits 1, 48-inch range, 4 attacks, hitting on 3s, strength 9, -1, flat 3. Autocannons have just been in a really weird place with no AP, or essentially just, if you have -1, you might as well just say 0 at this point, because they just don't do anything effective. Like, what you want to shoot this at are the heavy armed elite troops, that are 3 wounds, your Terminators and things like that already have a 2-up armor save. So a -1, if they're even touching a little piece of terrain, goes immediately to 0. So with just 4 attacks on that as well, at -1 AP, the autocannons just don't really do as much work as you think. Even with dev wounds and sustain 1, you might pop off 1 extra hit every once in a while, and then you're still trying to roll a 6, on like 3 or 4 dice. Then you have the Heavy Missile Launcher, Crack and Frags. Obviously, the Crack is 2 attacks, hit on 3, strength 10, -2, d6 plus 1. That has a niche. And then you have the frag, which is blast for your tiny little infantry killers. 2d6, hitting on threes, strength 5, -1, damage 1. So yeah, that is a thing in and of itself. Then for the last rule here, we have Demon Forge. So each time this unit makes a dark pack until the end of the phase, each time this model makes an attack, you re-roll a wound roll of 1. In addition, once per battle, when this unit makes a dark pack, before making the result of a leadership test, you can then declare it will overcharge its Demon Forge. If it does, the resulting leadership test is failed, the model suffers 3 mortal wounds instead of D3 mortal wounds. And then until the end of the phase, each time this model makes an attack, you can re-roll the wound roll, which is neat. You know, if you really want to kill a bunch of tanks and stuff on your turn and you can split fire, yeah, go for it. You got the wounds to spare at 18. Who cares if you lose 3? Because there are a lot of other ways, and we'll get into that in just a second, for all the faction-specific bonuses that you can get with these guys. You know, each flavor of Chaos gets their own flavor of Defiler. And each flavor of Defiler gets their own special rules. The World Eaters have Unleash Wrath. At the end of your opponent's movement phase, you can select one enemy unit that was set up on the battlefield within 12 inches of this model. This model can then either shoot at that unit, only if it's an eligible target, or declare a charge against that unit. Even if this charge is successful, though, you don't get any charge bonuses. Thousand Suns get Destroy Your Futures. Each time you target this unit with the Fire Overwatch stratagem, its hits are scored on 5s instead of 6s. For each of those that targets an enemy unit within 9 of one or more Thousand Suns Psyker units from your army, though, a hit is scored on a 4-up. So that's pretty good. Emperor's Children, though, I think maybe takes the cake. Each time this model makes an attack that targets an enemy unit that is not below half strength, add 1 to the hit roll. So very much an alpha striking, and anything that is slightly above, you know, you're just hitting them on 2s. Barrage of Filth. In your shooting phase, after this model has shot, this is for the Death Guard, sorry. Select one enemy unit hit by one or more of those attacks. Until the end of the phase, that unit cannot have the benefit of cover. And what makes this one kind of unique, similar to the Emperor's Children one, is that it might go against the new cover rules and stuff and how they work. I know they stated the new cover rules are going to modify the hit roll and not the AP. But if you're able to strip that cover off of them, so then you shouldn't be penalized for the -1 to your ballistic skill. So who knows how that's going to work out. They all seem pretty interesting. I think maybe the weakest is probably Thousand Suns, simply because it's just for Overwatch and you can technically only do it once per turn. So it's very niche. Well, hey guys, thank you if you made it this far. I appreciate it a lot. If you could please like, comment, and subscribe. You know, give me any kind of feedback that you have noticed. I know some of my volumes have been a little off, but just trying to figure this out. Any input is very helpful. So thank you guys. See you next time.